It is going to be one of the hottest days of the year so far. Warm sunshine all day, high of 25. Lovely sun roundabouts in the North Circular. Hot problems on the A12, hot problems on the M25 source. And then
I feel like it's mine, but not really only mine, you know, I feel like it's ours. It's our park.
Yeah man, it's relaxing in the park, you know, it's just somewhere you can come and be by yourself if you want to get away from all the traffic and things like that. Is that my back garden? Yeah man.
Yeah, the park means, it does mean a lot to me. I do recall many times coming over with my brothers and sisters as we were growing up, and there's very special trees in the park.
It's a nice green lung for those people who are up in tower blocks, kids who don't get out, mums who want to take their kids out for the days, you know, it's a nice park to come down to. It's a bit of a hidden gem in some ways as well.
People say you wouldn't know you're in the centre of London.
I think it's an attractive park. I do now. It was just sort of green and dim and dingy. But now we're opening it up and just making it more inviting to people.
I think the area is so beautified, the whole area, by having a park, you know, in the middle.
I come through and I shut the gate behind me and I walk through and I think, you know what, it's a little bit of heaven in here, isn't it, you know?
It's a bit of a cliche, I suppose, but the old phrase "People's Park," which was used all those years ago to describe what this park should be, that's actually what it is. If you come around this park, you do see all sorts of different people in the park, enjoying themselves in different ways. It's just a lovely place to be, I think.
Southwark Park, without it, Bermondsey would be a lot different, let me tell you that.
I've lived in this area all my life, and Mum used to pick us up from school, and she'd pick up my mates, and she had an old big camper van, and she'd fill up the car, and we'd all come straight from school, or primary school. So, and then the 6 weeks holiday was spent mostly over here. So it was you know, it was a great place to come when you was a kid, and had some really good, enjoyable times. So as you got older and had children of your own, it was like, you know, why has this park been left to go to such a mess? It went from being that very formal, looked-after park to a park that wasn't really managed well.
It was a very desolate park. There was no gardeners as such. We had no garden beds. The trees was all overgrown. It was all littered with cans and rubbish paper, and it was a park that none of the local people would walk through it or even sit in it. And it got a very, very bad reputation.
What Margie has said about the state of this park was mirrored up and down the country. Right throughout the country, the parks, urban parks, were actually in crisis. But thankfully, the lottery created this program called the Urban Parks Program, which you could apply for funding to improve things. And towards the end of the 1990s, the Friends of Southwark Park and Southwark Council worked together to actually put an application into the National Lottery, and I think in the end we were successful. We got something in the region of about £3 million to restore a lot of the park. And if you go back through the history of the park, from time to time you will find committees have been set up to improve the park or look for changes, and usually what happens is they achieve what they're after, and then the group disbands. The interesting thing about the current Friends of Southwark Park, I think, is that it's kept going, and it's coming up for 20 years now.
I think the Friends have been really effective, having our regular walkabouts with the park managers. We've had a few different park managers, we've been through different management schemes with Southwark.
I'm Andrea Pitter, and I'm the Contracts and Services Officer for Southwark Park. You don't imagine what actually goes into running a park when you are parents and you just take your child for a little stroll in the park. But all the stuff that we have to make sure, that we do to make sure, like all the health and safety, all the grounds maintenance, all the playground equipment is safe, the outdoor gyms, just making sure everything that the animals and members of the public need are here. And it's not only Southwark Park, we've got 23 other small parks that we have to look after in our area, so it does keep us busy. Our grounds maintenance in Southwark Park are really good. They're a really good team, so the park looks lovely.
My name's David Bolt. I'm the greenkeeper of the Bowling Green as well as the surrounding areas. I look after the Creek Square and touch rugby, and during the winter football pitches, maintain them, keep them up to scratch, make sure they're okay to play on. There's a lot of work goes into this park, and you know, people are starting to see what we do, and you know, they respect you for it. It's an all-weather cricket pitch, which means it gets used during rain, sun and shine, whatever. They just use it 3 to 4 times a week. Touch rugby, which is over there, that's done by clubs as well. Yeah, it's always in use, all the areas, open to everybody. Boundary lines, it gets done twice a week anyhow, so it's made nice and clear. And people just look at me and watch me while I'm doing it. They're quite fascinated, some of them do. What are you doing that for? Well, it has to be done. Mainly have kids run up to me and try to run in front of me, but they think it's some sort of thing to follow. Don't ask me why, but they do. Just about to shoot up to the bowling green. Set the rinses.
Yeah, that's right. You've had 3 months.
I was captain.
Been round it again, but what did you play?
I said,
It's freedom.
well, we're playing for a trophy. It is a...
All right, out with Dave.
Dave. It used to do a lot of...
With the bowling club, I've been in the committee for a number of years. I was president for about 3 years, 3 or 4 years. It started on the other half of the park years ago, and had to get permission to put a green in. and then they finally came over this part, and I think they never had a pavilion, they had a firebox. But you know, we had quite a lot of vandalism done, and when they put the artificial green in, that was my little project. It took me 6 years to get it, right, with help from some of the other lads, obviously. But when they put this up, they must have thought it was aluminium. They come down and ripped it all down, ripped all the wall down and everything else. So we had to start again, you know. But as a park screen, we've been to a few park screens. I think this is now one of the best. Point is, we're keeping our membership up to a reasonable amount, and providing we can get new members in, you know, you want to get the youngsters in, and that's difficult.
It is difficult.
It's really difficult.
But that's only just because, you know, the ages as well.
Once they get over that 14, 15, 16, they're all Jack the Lad.
Lads, yeah.
So they don't want to play this old geezer's game, you know. This is.
It might sound an obvious question, this, but I mean, what do you get out of playing bowls? What is it that you personally get out of it?
It's a relaxing game. I always find it relaxing.
I mean, when it gets serious, it's more like a game of chess, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
because it's a matter of positions, and it's a matter of learning. And you can't learn it in 5 minutes.
I'm brand new actually, this is my first day here, and I'm enjoying it, but it's took me a while just to get the balls roughly a little bit near the jack, what they call the jack, you know.
Before you start playing, turn your
bias, yeah.
To the bias, right, then when you pick it up,
yeah,
you can either go
that's
forehand or backhand.
So that's left to right. If I was to go that way, that's right to left. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. But the bias, the small side, it's always got to be on the inside when you're bowling.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. No matter which way you go. If you go that way, you're going forehand. If you go that way, you're going backhand.
Right.
But that will be
on the inside.
On the inside. Because you're going back.
Although it looks on the outside, it's not. It's on the inside.
It's on the inside. And if you're like that,
I'm fucked already.
If you got to take a line.
I think I need another cup of tea.
Now a lot of people are missing out. If they'd come and try it.
Come and try it.
It's completely different to watching it. You go out there in a full game. Right, you can be out there for 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
21 shots. You know you've done a workout.
Yeah.
I'm Gerard. I run the cafe in Southwark Park. See, we do quite a big range of food, 12, 13 dishes on the go, including full-day breakfast. My day starts off a little bit busy, then comes to lunchtime. Everybody's in for grab a bite to eat and a cup of tea. Don't you want it toasted? Brown or white?
Brown, please.
Are you having a tea or a coffee?
I'm fine for a drink. I've got water there.
Okay, that's £3. It can get busy, but it is a good little place. They all sit there by each other cups of tea and just chill out for a while.
I think the only thing I regret is really losing the Lido, because on a day like this where it's like 30 degrees, you know, it would have been packed.
Everybody met there from early in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. Everybody came, everybody knew everybody else as well. It's like when the pubs were open, wasn't it? You know, you all went down, you knew you'd see somebody you know.
The Lido, I mean, that was our holiday. You used to get a bottle of water with a sweet in it and sent round there all day.
We had a little swim, but we didn't stay in long, it was too cold.
It was so cold that you couldn't go in it, actually. Well, I couldn't. You'd think, oh, I'm going to brave this. The cold just froze you solid and you had to try and make it to the other side to climb out.
In the summer, we used to go over there every day, and we used to lay on the hot stones, what they called the hot stones. And there was the fountain, there was a cafe, and yeah, it brings back great memories.
Do you think you'd be using it on a day like this if it was still there?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Might have a bit sort of longer shorts on, but I'd still be there, yeah. Everybody was sitting on their towels and designer swimsuits sometimes. Oh, geez, a sunny day like this, I'm just putting myself right there.
You know, they're not a mirror image. They're two different ladies, you can see. You see by their faces, you can see by their frame. They're two different ladies, which I actually think is quite nice. Well, there isn't much sculpture in the park. I think they are quite a welcome addition. They were created by a sculptor called Henry Paul. They stayed in situ actually until 1973, when they were removed down to the Agate estate in the Elephant Castle. When I heard they were pulling the Agate down, I launched a campaign to bring them back, well, to Rotherhithe actually. Whilst they're not on their original site, you know, they are planted in Rotherhithe soil, and I think it's having them back home was really the main sort of thrust behind the campaign, really. Lots of letters in the paper, lots of criticism about bringing them back, but here they are, back in Rotherhithe.
Well, I've been actually working in the park for 22 years, but I've only been made up for head gardener for about 3 years, I think it is, coming up 3 years. I used to actually live in the tower block, so always used the park from probably early 80s. Ada Salter, there was somebody that objected to her idea of this by saying, no, we don't want Cockney gardening. And I love it, because 150, and it's gone full circle, and here we are, back to Cockney gardening. And I loved it, I did. I'll get a window at this time of year where everything's packed out and you'll end up looking for the weeds and then keeping an eye on it. There's always work to do. Each head gardener adds their own touch to it. So that's the beauty of it. If I see a plant, it will be in here. You've got your Stachys byzantina, Perovskia, which is Russian sage, so many variations of geraniums. You've got firecracker, you've got daylilies, Sonara, which is a type of artichoke, you've got grapevine. I mean, big one for you, Cephalaria gigantea, salvias. You'll probably point to one and I won't know it, but I know the majority. I have to. And I had to learn full Latin. I want you to look. If it's neat and tidy, you'll have a glance. If it's vulgar, red and purple. Can't be red and purple. You watch me. I will. Because it works. I'll select what I'm putting in. Make sure it contrasts in the leaves and colours. Colours I am, vulgar. Definitely.
My name's Sharon and I'm the apiarist in Southwark Park. I keep the bees here. The Southwark Park honey is being sold in Southwark Park Cafe, and also last year it was sold in Fortnum and Masons and labelled under Rotherhithe honey. It represents a park in a sense because they're collecting the nectar from the flowers in the park, from the trees in the surrounding area. So that's what you're tasting when you get that honey. But what, we've got a queen in here, so we're going to introduce her. I'm just smearing some food on there for them. So I don't know how these are going to behave when I let them out. That's the queen, so she's going into the hive now. What I'll do, I'll just put her down there. Just want to see how they react to her. They're interested but not aggressive, so that's good. You see they're scenting, they've got their bottoms up in the air and they're fanning. That's saying this is our home now. Yeah, so they're content. They've got some food, they've got a queen, they've got a new home. What we're trying to do for next year is get funding so I can spend the whole day in here, and then it means any school can come in and we can book a day with me, and so that's what we're trying to get running for this year and next year. There's loads of stuff you can teach the children regarding bees and their surroundings and just where our food comes from.
As kids, we were allowed to be out in this park from morning to night. No one would take a blind bit of notice. Now you can't leave children around like this. I mean, it was a silly instance the other day. Our camera crew coming in here, they were filming the children in the kids' playground. When they were approached, it doesn't matter, it's for Japanese TV. You can't do that. It can't be done.
It's a long history this lake has with the boats. For some reason there has not been run here for many years, but finally we're back. This is our second weekend. Mainly our fleet is at the moment made up of pedal boats because that seems to be much more enjoyable by little children. This is Heidi, our boat house dog. She's joy to many of our little visitors. She's very gentle and kind dog. We're very proud in our operation. We try to make sure that the whole operation is safe and very friendly to children especially. We already had some customers, and this is not the children customers, it's an adult customers that say that they will add this to their Sunday routine. So it's definitely exercise, and believe me, you should come and try it and see how your legs feels after you do a few loops around the islands.
I bet we have Nando's twice.
It's our park, and like a friend, yes. If anybody done anything to hurt it, I would have to retaliate. In our Bermondsey way, I really get very upset when things happen like that.
It does need a very strong parks committee to actually uphold the park, because if somebody comes in and steals a little bit there, and then steals a little bit there, the boundaries then begin to get smaller and smaller. If they hadn't had a friends group back 20 years ago, I think most of this park we would have probably have lost.
A couple of years ago, UK Power Networks came up with a proposal to use the park as a site on which they wish to tunnel to provide electricity cables to serve the City of London, which would have meant a part of Southwark Park being out of commission for 18 months. People were so concerned that a power company could come in and take a piece of land and basically do what they wanted in the park. We've got over 3,000 people signing a petition to get UK Power Networks to rethink. And yes, they've rethought about it, and they've decided at the moment to put it on one side. They're not going to use the park.
Time, please, time.
My name is Lynn Murray. I'm the park attendant at Southwark Park. Our main role is to be a presence in the park and to liaise with the public. Our other main role is to lock the gates every night. We start with King George Field, across the street, we lock that up, and then we just go around and lock about 20 gates in Southwark.
Do you think it's got a fairly healthy future to look forward to, the park?
This all depends on the council and the cutbacks, doesn't it? That's the important thing.
You know, it's just about, as I said, keeping our eye on the ball, making sure that things get developed which are a benefit for all different park users across the board.
This park has been my past, and this park hopefully will still be my future for many years, as long as I live. And it will be the children that's running around here now, it is their future and their park. They will inherit this.
People can be nostalgic, but don't, oh, I wish it was like, no, move forward. Progress all the time. Improvements, you know, just making the park better, and this is what we want to encourage people to use. This is our park. Let's use it.